this time, I'll call to order the City of Joliet Council meeting for November 2nd, 2021. The Honorable Mayor Bob Oderkirk presiding. We will open with a prayer from Pastor Kurt Hoover of Messiah Lutheran Church, which is at 40 Hobolt Road. Pastor, that's the church my wife and I were married at. And afterwards, the pastor will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance as well.
I want to thank you for your service. I'm going to go home and watch The Bachelorette with my wife while you guys do the important work of governing and leading. Thank you for that work that you're doing. Invite you to pray with me, and one act I invite you to do with me is, as we breathe in, we invite God into this, in our conversations, in our work that we're doing, and then as we breathe out, we let go of just any distractions that you brought with you this day, anything that would prevent you from doing the work that you've been called to. Let us pray. Lord, we invite you into this space. We recognize your presence already here. Lord, as we breathe in, we invite your presence into our thoughts, into our caring ways in which we engage each other, into the important work that you've given us, the conversations and points that need to be made. And Lord, as we breathe out, take away our judgments, our distractions, our frustrations. Help us to see each other as we really are. Interpret our neighbor's actions in the kindest of ways. Follow leadership in the kindest of ways. Be in this meeting, we pray. In Jesus' name, amen.
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 Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor.
We begin with roll call. Mayor Oderkirk.
Here.
Councilman Clement.
Here.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Here.
Councilman Guerrero.
Here.
Councilman Hug.
Here.
Councilman Morris.
Here.
Councilman Mudrin.
Here.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Here.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Here.
First on the agenda this evening is a presentation, Joliet Police Explorers Recognition.
Good evening. It's been a little bit since we've had an opportunity to talk about the Explorer program because of the pandemic. So just wanted to take a couple quick minutes to recognize these fine young people and some of the things they've done. So recently, we went to something called the Public Safety Cadet Challenge. There was Explorer and Cadet groups from all across the country, from Texas all the way to New York City. There was a couple hundred kids that took part in this. And I'm proud to say that Joliet was the second highest group at the event in the amount of trophies, and we want to talk about some of the trophies they got. So we got first place in active shooter, first place in officer rescue, second place in force options, third place in airsoft tactical, third place in air pistol, and individual third place for Explorer Adrian Zamudio in airsoft tactical, and an individual third place for Explorer Corporal Josh White in air pistol. We also had a week-long boot camp that the American Legion puts on every year. It's an opportunity for young people to learn about the ways of the military, and they're put through an extensive week-long course. 3 of our explorers went to this. They were Cece Hernandez, Christian Silva, and Andrew Betancourt. I want to give some special respect to Andrew Betancourt. He received the Serve and Protect Award, which is a scholarship for the most outstanding participant of the boot camp from the American Legion, and he got a $500 scholarship that he's able to use at any Illinois public university. We also want to talk about a couple things that they did throughout the pandemic. There was food trucks, and 2 days that stood out was that there was one day where it was -10 degrees, another day where it was 90 degrees, and the explorers were out there for over 3 hours on both days, always representing the community and spending their time. Speaking of community service, the explorers were at Cop on Top, and while they were there, one of the Joliet Police Central principals saw how hard that their students were working. She knew somebody over at Chick-fil-A, and our explorers were giving a coupon, which allows them to have free sandwiches for a year at Chick-fil-A. So we want to say a thank you to Chick-fil-A for recognizing the hard work that our explorers have done. Finally, the motto of the Joliet Police Explorers is today's explorers, tomorrow's officers. I think as you look on here, you see a cross-section of Joliet. These are young people who have vested in the city, who have given hundreds, if not thousands of hours to the city. And we love it when they become Joliet police officers. And behind myself, we have 3 of our explorers in the past year and a half who have become Joliet police officers. And they themselves have given over 1,000 hours of community service to the city. And they are Officer Leslie Segala, Officer Bryson McCaskill, and Officer Rafael Gallegos. So, thank you very much.
Awesome work.
Sure.
Awesome.
You guys want to go through with your trophies?
Right in the black.
Sure. Put Shorty in there. Come on, Sherry.
Wait, we're all nice. I think we should scrunch it.
Can they see? It looks like you have 2 heads.
No, they're gonna get that. Outside.
Is that- Surprise, surprise. Tony's gonna speak. You go, Tony. This is gonna hear.
Go ahead, Tony, the floor is yours.
Next is the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as written? So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Clement,
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin,
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero,
Aye.
Councilman Hug,
Aye?
Councilman Morris,
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin,
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman,
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Motion carried. Citizens to be heard on agenda items. Is there anyone that would like to speak on an agenda item this evening? Seeing none. Next, we have council committee reports. First is land use and legislative committee report.
Yes, Your Honor. Land Use and Legislative Committee, we met Thursday, October the 28th, here in the council chamber, myself, along with Councilman Clemens and Councilwoman Quillman. We had one agenda item, was the Citizen Review Board. We tabled the agenda item to the next week, a meeting in November the 8th back here in the council chamber. So we will discuss it at that point. There was some stakeholders that hadn't received a copy of the agenda item. So it was tabled to November 8th.
Right. What time's that meeting on the 8th?
Was it 4:30? Joe?
I don't know, I didn't get that memo yet, so.
I want to say 4:30.
I believe it was 4:30.
Okay, thank you.
Next is Public Safety Committee report.
Okay, Public Safety met today here in the council chambers. And, we discussed, hang on, where's my minutes? Here they are. We had several things on the, agenda, and we will start out with Chief Blasky. He's gonna come here and explain the contract for amendment number 2, CMS Medicare ground data collection of the Origin Andrus Medical Agreement contract.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. Earlier this year, we were notified by our billing partner, Andres Medical, that we had been selected by CMS, which is the Centers for Medicaid and Medicare Services, through Health and Human Services to take part in a mandatory data collection system that is going to run from 2020 through 2024. The year we were selected was for 2022. The amount of data that has to be amassed has to be done on every call, on every one of our personnel, 24/7, and then that information needs to be sent and input to CMS no later than May of 2023. If we choose not to be involved with this, we have already been notified that we will lose a minimum of 10% annually of our Medicare funding, which will be a minimum of $120,000 annually. The cost of one time for having a partner we're already working with through Andres, PCG, who's been very helpful with us doing the ground emergency medical transport fund for Medicaid, does this in the background for us for a one-time fee of $35,000 that will be payable in 2023. So I have asked council and through the committee that we enter into an amendment with Andres to move forward on that. Questions?
Thank you, Chief. Okay, second of all, the authorization to approve the agreement between the City of Joliet and Axon for body-worn cameras. And we discussed this, it's going to be a pilot program for next year. We're gonna start out with 20 cameras. We can't get more right now because of the shortage of chips. And what will entail, will be set up, training, downloading video, and it'll be a cost over 4 years of $1,026,000. And it will be going on the council agenda for the council to approve on November 17th. Does anyone have any questions about that? I know it's a long time coming. Okay,
Actually, Mayor, just
Yes.
one question. What is the duration of the pilot program? I just missed it.
let's see, he's not here.
I believe you said a couple months.
Did you say, no, it start for a couple of months, but then, once the pilot gets going, then we're gonna go full.
Right.
So, because it costs, there's 2 months of training, I think you said as well, before they even can start the cameras.
Yes,
Anything else?
Chief Brown, yes, it's gonna be, the initial beta training will be around 2 months.
Yeah.
We'll start off with 10, and then we'll finish with 20 officers. And as we proceed, I think next summer, right after the first quarter, then we'll have it rolled out to the entire police department.
Thank you, because I didn't get that information. Thanks, Chief. Okay, anybody else? Okay. Purchase of 88 SCBA air packs, 176 SCBA air bottles, and 114 of SCBA masks from Municipal Emergency Services, and this is coming from a grant from the Assistance for Firefighters. They will put up $593,000. The whole grant, its upfront cost is $652,000 for the city. We pay, but then we only have to pay 10% of that, which will be $59,000, and the grant will come from $593,000. Did I get that right, Chief?
That's correct.
Okay. Any questions about that? Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on. Approving the authorization and the acceptance and implementation of a 2021 Justice Assistant Grant from the U.S. Department of Justice, Office of Justice Programs, Bureau of Justice Assistance. Now, this is a grant we've been getting since 1997, and it's in 50-50 grant with the county of Will and Joliet. And the grant is $57,537, so we'll be getting $28,768.50. That will be our share. And it's going to be used for 6 combo message boards. And what these are for speeding. We've heard a lot of issues with people saying, they're speeding in the neighborhood and on the streets. So these message boards will also be put up. They will mark the speed, but they'll also collect and measure data for traffic control. Any questions on that? Okay. And that concludes our report.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody, did I miss anything, guys? Okay, we're good. Thank you.
Public Service Committee report.
Public Service met here today at 4:30 here in the council chambers. And on the committee and in attendance was Councilwoman Gavin, Councilman Morris, and myself. Not a really lengthy agenda. We had some initial discussion, very informal discussion about tweaking a policy, about the placement of recommended items and when they will be placed on the council agendas moving forward. And like I said, it was just an initial fact-finding mission, something that's kind of housekeeping for the committee itself. Other than that, we had 2 contracts. One, of course, is the one that people would want to hear about, and that's we've locked in maximum of 12,000 tons of salt for this winter, and at $68.20 per ton, and there'll be plenty of salt to get it on the road, so we won't be looking at Joliet having a low-sodium diet, and hopefully we won't have to use it all. That would be a good thing. Then we also had a repair to one of our pumps. We had 5 items under change order payments and final payments that we reviewed and vetted them. And then we had an ordinance to do with the Hobo Bridge, whole project out there, which is a temporary construction easement at Lot 2 of a Chicago gravel company. Again, just a part of the larger, Hobo Bridge project. And that's pretty much everything we had. We looked at all the items. Every item that was on our agenda did get unanimous support for a recommendation to approval to the city council. And the salt will be on tonight's agenda for a vote. So let's make sure we all vote yes on salt. We want salt for if we're gonna have our first snowstorm, 3 weeks, right? I'm thinking 3 weeks. So, did I miss anything, Betty or Terry?
No, Larry,
Did I make it
covered it
exciting?
all. You made it a little exciting until you mentioned that snow prediction, and then you lost me right there.
You gotta take up skiing. That would be my report, Mayor. That's all we had.
I show no other reports. Under consent.
Yes, Krista.
I'm sorry, the meeting will be at 3 p.m. Thanks, Joe. He pointed that out. The land use meeting on November the 8th will be at 3 p.m.
Okay.
Come at 4:30, we might be gone. 3 p.m. next Tuesday. Thank you, sorry. Thanks, Joe.
Under consent agenda, approval of the minutes. It's recommended the minutes of the pre-council meeting held on October 18th and the minutes of the council meeting held on October 19th, 2021 stand approved as recorded. 2022 Joliet City Council meeting schedule. It's recommended the proposed schedule be approved. Council memo 487-21 position vacancies. It's recommended the city manager be authorized to fill 1 accountant position in the finance department and any subsequent vacancies which may occur. Council memo 488-21 regular payroll for August 13th through August 26th, 2021. $3,358,003.71. Council memo 489-21 regular payroll for August 27th through September 9th, 2021. $3,619,391.54. Council memo 490-21, special payroll for September 24th, 2021, $1,287,170. It's recommended said regular payrolls be approved. Council memo 491-21, renewal of the proposed group health, dental, vision, and life insurance programs. Council memo 492-21, renewal of the community notification system. Council Memo 493-21, renewal of contract for 2021-2024 snow removal for the downtown city center area and the commuter lot area. Council Memo 494-21, award of contract for the Hobart Road, Hollywood Road roadway reconstruction project to D Construction in the amount of $29,985,469.05. Council Memo 495-21, award of contract for professional engineering services for the Phase 3 engineering services for the Hobart Road, Hollywood Road roadway reconstruction project to Civil Tech in an amount not to exceed $3,174,684. Council Memo 496-21, award of contract for the 2021 traffic signal materials purchase order to Traffic Control Corporation in the amount of $131,255. Council Memo 497-21, award of contract for the lead service line replacement Phase 3A project to Stipp Brothers Excavating in the amount of $1,275,281.20 and professional service agreement to Baxter and Woodman in the amount of $300,000. Council Memo 498-21, award of contract for the lead service line replacement Phase 3B project to Brandt Excavating in the amount of $1,134,744.75. Council Memo 499-21, award of contract for the lead service line replacement Phase 3C project to Stipp Brothers Excavating in the amount of $1,049,851.70. Council Memo 500-21, award of contract for the rock salt purchase 2021 to 2022 to Morton Salt at a unit price of $68.20 per ton. Council Memo 501-21, change order number 1 for the 2021 pavement marking program to Superior Road Striping in the amount of $21,672.10 and payment request number 3 and final in the amount of $72,481.59. Council Memo 502-21, change order number 1 for the Summit Street roadway improvement project, Community Development Block Grant 2021 to Austin Tyler Construction, in the amount of $76,478.57. Payment request number 3 in the amount of $215,753.93. Council Memo 503-21, change order number 11 for the 2018 sanitary sewer rehabilitation program to Michaels Corporation in the amount of negative $1,026,435.04 and final payment in the amount of $200,869.72. In Council Memo 504-21, change order number 2 for the 2021 sanitary sewer rehabilitation program to Performance Pipelining in the amount of $27,568.50. It's recommended Council Memos 491-21 through 504-21 be approved. Is there a motion to approve all said consent agenda items?
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Gavin,
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero,
Aye.
Councilman Hug,
Aye.
Councilman Morris,
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin,
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman,
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Motion carried. Moving on, under licenses and permit applications. First is Council Memo 506-21, denial of a Class BG liquor license at 1411 Riverboat Center Drive, Riverboat Gas and Food Incorporated. It's recommended a Class BG liquor license for Riverboat Gas and Food be denied.
So moved. Second.
Motion is seconded to deny a Class BG liquor license at 1411 Riverboat Center Drive for Riverboat Gas and Food. Councilman Guerrero,
No.
Councilman Hug,
Aye.
Councilman Morris,
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin,
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman,
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon,
Aye.
Councilman Clement,
No.
Councilwoman Gavin.
No.
Motion carried 5-3. The denial was approved. So a Class BG liquor license for Riverboat Gas and Food Incorporated was denied. Next is Council Memo 507-21, denial of a Class BG liquor license at 1601 East Cass Street, 7-Eleven. It's recommended a Class BG liquor license be denied for 7-Eleven at 1601 East Cass Street.
So moved. Second.
It's motioned and seconded to deny a Class BG liquor license for 7-Eleven at 1601 East Cass Street. Councilman Hug,
Aye.
Councilman Morris,
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin,
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman,
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon,
Aye.
Councilman Clement,
No.
Councilwoman Gavin,
No.
Councilman Guerrero.
No.
Motion carried 5-3. The BG liquor license at 1601 East Cass Street for 7-Eleven was denied. Next is Council Memo 508-21, issuance of a Class D liquor license at 2812, 2820 Plainfield Road, Lisa Nails Spa of Joliet. It's recommended a Class D liquor license be approved for Lisa Nails Spa at 2812, 2820 Plainfield Road. Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Morris,
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin,
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman,
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement,
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin,
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero,
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is Council Memo 509-21, issuance of a Class B liquor license at 675 Collin Street, Lux Event Consultant LLC. It's recommended the Class B liquor license for Lux Event Consultant LLC at 675 Collin Street be approved.
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Mudrin,
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman,
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon,
Aye.
Councilman Clement,
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin,
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero,
Aye.
Councilman Hug,
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 510-21, transfer of a Class A liquor license at 117 North Center Street, Midtown Tap. It's recommended the transfer for the Class A liquor license at Midtown Tap, 117 North Center Street be approved.
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Quillman,
Well, I didn't get any calls on this, so only one person was against it, so I have to go with majority and vote aye.
Councilwoman Reardon,
Aye.
Councilman Clement,
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin,
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero,
Aye.
Councilman Hug,
Aye.
Councilman Morris,
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Motion carried. Moving on, under ordinances, Council Memo 512-21, an ordinance authorizing 2 amendments to the rules and regulations of the Board of Fire and Police Commissioners. It's recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So-
Have a public explanation.
Jim,
Jim?
Sabrina?
One was to bring it into the, The first one was the age limit for the hiring of police officers, right, currently now is and firefighters is 35. And this would bring us into line with the state. Earlier, if you recall, yesterday, Councilman Hug had a particular question as to whether or not somebody who was over the age of 35, whether or not they could laterally transfer into the Joliet Police Department. And the answer to that is if they are currently employed as a full-time police officer in a department, they can indeed laterally transfer here if they take the test, they can be hired. So that's the answer to that, and this brings us into line with the rest of the state. The other issue was
the pending discipline appeals, and currently there's no limitation on how long an appeal can pen before a hearing is mandated. So if somebody were to get disciplined and they appeal that, right now, there's no timeline saying that when we have to hear that, so it can drag on ad infinitum. We're gonna put a 90-day limit on that, and unless it's continued for, or extended for good cause shown.
Thank you, Jim.
You're
Those are for
welcome.
people that out there, you're like, what's that mean? So
Right.
now we know. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there a motion to approve Council Memo 512-21, an ordinance authorizing two amendments to the rules and regulations of the Board of Fire and Police Commissioners?
Move to approve.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Motion carried. Under resolutions, Council Memo 514-21, a resolution approving amendment addendum number 3 to the intergovernmental agreement with the State of Illinois Department of Transportation for the Hobart Road roadway reconstruction project. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 515-21 is a resolution appropriating motor fuel tax funds for the 2021 pavement marking program in the amount of $21,672.10. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is the city manager's report.
Yeah, I'd like to clarify something, council had pointed out, which is on land use and legislative is on Monday, November 8th. I say again, Monday, November 8th, and that it's gonna be, there's two conflicting times here. There's one that says 3 PM and another says 3:30. So we need to get that clarified. If you're not sure, be here at 3 o'clock and you won't miss the 3:30 meeting. So, but until we can get that clarified and up on the website, the absolute correct time. But it's either gonna be at 3 or 3:30. So if you wanna be on the safe side, come at 3 o'clock. Additionally, I'm very pleased to say that we finally got the body cam program up and going. Unfortunately, we've been hamstrung, as you've heard from the chips. So we're gonna try to get those out as soon as we get them in and get them integrated into the police units and get them trained up. So this is a great thing that we've been struggling with here for almost a year. So we finally got that behind us. Additionally, I will be signing the final firefighters contract tomorrow with the head of the fire union. So that'll be put behind us. So again, everybody, thank you for all the effort that you put in there. So that concludes my remarks.
Thank you.
Mayor,
Yes.
I just got my email here, from Karen Mackley, the land use secretary. And just to confirm, it is Monday, November 8th at 3 PM for the land use meeting. And on November 30th, it's also at 3 PM. So this was final as of the other day, so.
Okay, great.
Unless that has changed, Terry, has it changed for you?
No, my calendar, something wrong with my phone. It said Tuesday was there. I'm sorry.
That's okay, so I have Monday and Tuesday, the 30th is the
Maybe
Tuesday.
that was,
So they're both at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, thank you, Councilwoman.
Okay,
Thank
you're
you,
welcome.
thank you.
thank you.
Next is new business not for final action or recommendation.
Joe?
I have nothing, sir.
Jim?
I'm just wondering, I have a question. It was brought up, to me, and new business or comments or whatever, but, there was almost 1,500 children and parents and adults trick-or-treating on Halloween Day. And I was wondering if we should put an age limit on that, because there were a lot of adults trick-or-treating, and some were impaired. And overall, everybody was very polite, but there were just a lot of folks out there on Sunday afternoon, and I've never seen so many adults and
high schoolers trick or treating before, so I didn't know if that was something we want to consider, if anybody else complained. That was all.
Okay.
Just a comment.
Okay. Sherry?
No.
I have nothing either.
Next is public comments. Is there anyone that would like to speak under public comments this evening? Next is mayor and council comments.
No? Betty?
Your Honor, thank you. I just want to send prayers out for the shooting victims that we've been encountering here lately, their families, and those who are there. We just want our community safe, and the only way we'll be able to do that is that we all work together in doing that. And so I say to those families, my heart goes out to you for your loss and then for any injuries that you may have. But I say to these perpetrators, your time is ending. We're coming for you, and we're gonna clean up our streets. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Oh, one more thing, I'm sorry. I just want to take my city council hat off and put on my community hat. And I want to report to you all about the CDBG funding that is going on now with Forest Park. The work is going great. I can see in the building, the lighting is great now. We're getting some other work done, and we're gonna have the building painted. And so we are at the community and the board of directors are so appreciative of the funding that the city has gave to us to do some capital improvements on the building. So thank you again, everybody from the Forest Park community and the board of directors at the center. Thank you.
Thank you. Caesar?
Yep, couple of things. So it was last week sometime, recently, had a resident called me to report some flooding in the street on Abe Street, near the intersection of Abe and Jackson. I got to the scene, and it was apparent that the flooding wasn't caused by any spillage, but rather was caused by a water main break. So we called up the 24-hour hotline. City staff reported to the scene. We're able to get that water main replaced. And so just like to share that number with anybody who might be watching now. It's 815-724-4220. And as Councilman Hugg has said plenty of times before, this is going to be an ongoing process to replace some of the water infrastructure that we currently have. And so this certainly isn't the first time we've seen an incident like this, and likely won't be the last as we go through the process of replacing some of our aging infrastructure there. I'd also like to, as Councilwoman Gavin did, take off my city council hat for a moment and speak as a member of the community. We are today still actually celebrating Dia de los Muertos. Yesterday, November 1st, there was an event at Bicentennial Park. It was well attended. Glad to see a lot of community members there. And with keeping that in mind, Dia de los Muertos is an opportunity to recall the memories that we've shared with those who are departed. And so it's certainly difficult not to think about the families of Holly Matthews and Jonathan Ceballos, who, as we just mentioned, were tragically lost to us over the weekend. It's hard for me not to think about it, considering they were so close in age to myself, considering that just as I was a few years ago, students at JJC, and to think that if conditions were just a little bit different, I could have just as easily been there myself at that scene. And so, again, our condolences go out to the families, and we now go through the difficult process of, continuing to live with the hole that that they've left in our families and our communities. And again, there were more people there at that event many who were also injured in that shooting, and who are continuing to this very moment to struggle, fighting for their lives. Many more who, had to bear witness to such a tragedy. And so we'd just like to share that there are a few resources available. JTHS has grievance counselors through their counseling offices. The Will County State's Attorney, Children's Advocacy Center as well, and the Guardian Angel Home are all offering free counseling services for those who might be struggling to cope with that experience. So we'd just like to share that with everybody who might have been in attendance at this Halloween party, for their families and everybody else who, was impacted, not just those that we've lost, but all of their families and their friends as well.
Larry? Yeah, I'd just like to give a shout out to Plainfield Central High School's football team. They made it to the first round of the playoffs and they did lose. But it's something to celebrate. Plainfield at one point had gone winless enough over several years to actually break the high school record for the consecutive losses. And then for several years after that, they struggled to put 1 or 2 victories up. They got a new coaching staff, and those young men did a great job as players. And they finished this season, after actually maybe having 5 wins in the last 10 years, 7-1. Almost won the conference, and then they did lose in the first round. But they will be back, and congratulations to the Plainfield Central Wildcat football team, coaching staff, and all the kids at the school. It's exciting to have that kind of a turnaround in such a short time.
Terry, Pat, Jan?
Just quick note, besides the county, if you had a Moderna shot and you want a booster, you can go to Jewel and you don't need an appointment. Any of the Jewels have the Moderna booster shot available for you. So,
Good.
that's it.
Sherry?
I have a letter, I'm gonna let it speak for itself. I received a call from a resident, and she wrote me this letter, and I said I would read it to us, so here we go. Dear Mayor and council members, I am unable to attend tonight's Joliet City Council meeting, but feel compelled to express my dismay and disbelief regarding the treatment of former City Chief of Police, Don Malik. Through the lens of public perception, it seems to be a humiliation effort of a person. This is what bothers me to the core. Throughout the last few weeks, in reading the newspapers from both the Joliet Patch and the Joliet Herald News, I'm quite surprised that women group are not protesting outside of City Hall. However, this is not a gender issue for me. It's a matter of showing basic respect and civility for the dignity of any person, including the former chief. In reviewing the chain of events reported by the media over the last few weeks, I find the behavior coming out of City Hall to be unacceptable. The comments allegedly made by the city manager and reported in the Patch were coarse and derogatory to and of a person, and those words will live eternally on the internet. In addition, the manner in which Malik was relieved from leadership duties was amateur, sloppy, and uninformed. How it is possible that top tier of Joliet government was unaware of the specific Joliet ordinance governing the process of dismissing the chief of police, who was promoted from within. And today, the Joliet Herald News reported Malik was not permitted to provide a statement to council during closed session last night. She is being utterly dismissed. I have never met Officer Malik. I do not know her. However, I do feel that somebody has to say something, because looking at the situation in totality, it is not right. What in the world could Malik have done to warrant this extreme treatment? No employee, no resident, no person deserves this. Thank you for your time. Respectfully submitted, Margie Seapon. That's it.
Okay, number one, I want to congratulate the Exchange Club of Joliet. They had a successful fundraiser spaghetti dinner at the Joliet Moose last week. Great job to the Exchange Club, and thank you to everyone who supported them. Number two, the shooting that happened Saturday night, I'd like to echo the comments by Councilman Guerrero and Councilwoman Gavin. I also would like to thank the efforts of our police and fire department. This was not an event that happened inside Joliet. It happened outside of our city. But I know we had a number of officers and ambulances, paramedics and firefighters who responded and assisted. Chief Brown and Chief Blasky, thank you for your efforts, and please pass that on. Number three, I want to wish a happy Veterans Day to all our veterans on November 11th. There's always a number of events in town that day. I haven't heard of any yet, but I know they'll be coming soon. But it's a great annual event downtown Joliet. So happy Veterans Day. Number 4, I'd like to congratulate the Scorpions of Joliet pool team. I don't know if this has been reported very widely, but it's a big story. They won a world pool championship. Over 1,100 teams competed in this. In the finals, they beat the Must Be Nice team from Connecticut. So we have a national or world champion pool team right here in Joliet. They were celebrated at Long Shots last weekend. I think there's another celebration coming up. I do want to thank or congratulate all the members of the Scorpions pool team for the honor that they brought back to our city. And then finally, on a personal note, I'd like to thank or wish happy birthday to my mother-in-law, Ruth Evans, whose birthday is today, and then happy birthday to my daughter, Leah, who will be 21 on Thursday. So happy birthday. I think we wanted a closed session tonight. Thank you.
Is there a motion to go into closed session to discuss personnel, collective bargaining, land acquisition or conveyance pending or threatened litigation, after which the meeting will be adjourned?
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Guerrero. Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Motion carried.